You see, he didn't
Yes.
know. He wasn't afraid of rats, bats, or cats, or anything. He was a very rare
bats.
boy. You see, there was a wife who died, but left her husband, the storyteller, 2 sons.
No one
The
cares.
one, the tailor, 2 sons. The one good, the other good for nothing. And he is called Fear Not. Now, while he was out on the town, he was playing his fiddle under his sweetheart's window. And his sweetheart looked back at him, and they looked at each other, and boop, that's it. Love. But then, from the window below the sweetheart's window was the sweetheart's father, who opened up the window and yelled, "Be off with you, you good for nothing!" But he still continued to play the fiddle. Until he threw a potted plant at him. Don't worry, it didn't hit him. It was close to him. He waved his sweetheart goodbye. His sweetheart waved back at him, and he ran off home. "What time do you call this?" said the father. "Don't know then.
Cute.
What time do you call it?" "Lord, give me patience." "Well, have you got the buttons?" "What buttons?" "The buttons I sent you out for." "Do you know, Dad, I completely forgot them buttons. Tell you the truth, I was playing underneath my sweetheart's window. Oh, she was a lovely. Do you hear that? He forgot. Never fear, I'll go back and forget again." "No, you go, son." But the good son shuddered and said, "I'll go in the morning." "The morning's no use. Go now." "I would, but when the dark comes, I don't like the forest. It's all shadows. There's trolls in there and dragons." "Let me go. I don't mind shadows. I never saw a dragon." "Be off with you then. What are you going for?" Don't tell me. To see dragons." No, ogres." "Buttons!" Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Buttons. So off goes Fear Not to fetch buttons, but the village bullies wanted to bully him, so they wanted to scare him, so they had a plan. And as Fear Not walks through the forest at night, the 3 bullies jumped out in a disguise as a monster. All 3 of them roared. "Ah!" Fear Not smiled, not shuddered, said, "Hello, are you a troll?" "I am a Wordle, only twice as bad." "Never mind. I want your bag of buttons." "Sorry, they're for my dad." "Give them to me, or I'll mutton you." "Mutton me?" "I'll give you a right flubbox." "That doesn't sound very nice." "Give me the buttons," all 3 of them demanded while roaring. Very well, so he took the bag of buttons and slapped them across the face, knocking them down. And there he goes off,
Yes.
boy, home. Full of tales of a Wordle, only twice as bad. And here are the buttons. And did you know a Wordle has 3 voices? And the farmer decided to give him 40 shillings in the purse and tells him to go off and learn something. Well, as considers it, he always wanted to know how to shudder. So he would set forth to learn what fear is, with nothing to guide him but a bag of shillings, a fiddle, and a fool's errand. "Hey, my pillow fort!"
People
Someone
are
was taking
mean.
apart my pillow fort.
Some people are. I'm laying
people
down in
are.
real life.
Besides, I've been through worse
kind of sitting
than
up.
this. I've been through child abuse.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
That's okay. I don't let it get me down. Now, as he went off on his journey to set forth to learn what fear was, he stumbled across a man. Good day, young man. Ha! What is this looking maid? Good day, sir. I could tell by the glee in your eye you have a sweetheart. I do, sir. Then what's her name? I don't know yet, sir. Well, then what's your name? Mine's McCoy, and I don't mind it. Mine's Fear Not, and there you go. You have a bright strength for you. Your sweetheart, is she dark or fair? Oh, dark, sir. Arabia, like Arabia. Oh, happy day. And a happy day it is for you indeed, young man. For you see here, I have a scarf of silk, made by the shores of Arafi. And here, I insist you take it, and may you learn a name. Why, thank you, sir. And it's because you're such a good lad. I would only ask for you of what I paid for it. How much is that? How much you got? 40 shillings. Oh, nothing like that. Barely half that. Less than 2/3 of that. You see, I like this scarf, and I set forth to learn things, you see. And to learn a name is something, but I'll give you all I have if you teach me what fear is. You... Oh, sorry. Again. You
Okay.
would give me 40 shillings. Oh, you would give me 40 shillings for me to frighten you? Gladly. I see, said the blind man. And let me think. Shut your eyes. And Fear Not did shut his eyes, and he tried to scare him by roaring at him. Roar! Roar! Something the matter? No, let me think. Then he takes out a spoon and has it close to Fear Not's throat. What do you reckon that is at your throat? I don't know, sir. A knife? Aye. Slit a hair clean in two. That's marvelous, sir. Slit the throat without even touching the skin. That's a good knife, then. It is too, and it will be for you, young man, unless you part with your bag of shillings. I can't do that, for I must learn what fear is. I'm not afraid of you, Mr. McCoy. You're a friend. As he patted him on the shoulder, which accidentally knocked Mr. McCoy down, he helped him up, and Mr. McCoy said, "Oh yes, we are friends. Now, let me take you down the lane. Follow." Where to? To a pond, by a hedge, by a field, by a mill, by a town. And in that pond is a fearful sight. Think what fearful is, and may it swim up to greet ya. And shall I shudder? No question, if you survive. And there they went until they finally made it to the pond, by a hedge, by the field, by a mill, by a town. And when people made it by the mill, they had their prayers, say blessings, and say, "Be clear before dark fall, beware the pond," and any such unwelcomes. Here, is this where I learned to shudder, Mr. McCoy? The trick is, you must plunge into the pond, and fear will swim up to greet you. Splendid. Ah! As he dipped his toes into the pond, he felt relaxed. Ah! It's a treat. Will you join me? No, thanks. I must tell her get us beds for the night. You must sleep after a good fright. Good luck. Thank you. Now this green pool isn't all warm and comfy. For you see, in this pond is a terrible thing, and it looks up, sees a pair of feet. It's a man, and oh dear. So there he is, our man Fear Not, dipping his feet in the pond in the middle of a full moon night, waiting to shudder, wondering how. And lo and behold, the water in the pool began to swirl and gather with three beautiful maidens, eyes closed, and the dance is a welcome to drownings. Come in, they seem to say. And fear not feels enchanted by their loveliness. And he does what he always does when he feels like this. He began to play the fiddle. Now,
I apologize.
why do the village folk avoid this pretty scene while the moonlight shines its gleam on the pool? Because, my dearios, my darlings, these are the daughters of the terrible thing, and their dances into drownings. Water in their veins, water in their eyes. Come in, and as Fionnot looks on enchanted while walking into the pond. Come in, they seem to say. Come in and drink our bitter beer. Come in and meet our master. And the terrible creature appeared. And as Fionnot stopped playing, the creature asked, "Do you know who I am?" "I don't think so. You're not a wordle, some sort of terrible thing." "Exactly. These are my pretties. They bring folk in, and I drown them." "Why?" "Because. But first, give me your bird. Its song's so sweet." "You can't do that. I have to make it. Look." So he played the fiddle some more while walking out of the pond. Then, as the creature followed him, he asked, "Where does the singing come from?" "These folks, let me." He tried, and it sounded terrible. "Ah, horrid. You must learn to play." "But your bird, where does its song come from?" "The song? Oh, far away. Ireland." "Which direction?" "Over there. Many lefts, many rights." "I go, Ireland. That way, you say?" "That's it. Make it sing some more. And then I'll go, Ireland." And our boy plays some more, and then the creature left his pool, his daughters, his endless drownings, and goes off in search of Ireland and the bird that plays. And he lives there still for all I know. And as for the villagers, what a hero! What a hero! Not one, but 20, 78 gifts, 4 offers of Mary, and much playing the fiddle. By morning, Mr. Mackay's self-appointed management of heroes who wanted to add to Fionnot's exploits of all sorts of things, of trolls, terrors, dragons, and demons, and untold, unsolved mysteries. But Fionnot wasn't that much of a fool, so he remembers that God, the tinkers he is, retrieve his 40 shillings and ask him where they're heading next. "I'll tell you where we're going, but I must have you be warned. I promise you my shillings if I were shudder. Give me a fist which I like not. One little mishap and I'm flashed from me pains. Compare if you are blessed with great courage. I am cursed with a little cunning. I cheat for trifles while you can move mountains. Is that fair, I ask you? I'm sorry. Take my money. I've offended you." No. I shall struggle on for nothing, even though he took the money. "We go to yonder castle, where none survive the night, so I'll learn to shudder at last." Now, this castle is a place where no one would go. The king driven out, the rooms abandoned, only fools would seek shelter there. And look, and it's sad to say what happened to those fools. When you see it on the horizon, you see it as a place of death. Then the drawbridge lowers as Fionnot and Mr. Mackay came close. "Wait here," said Fionnot. "I shall take things with me." "Take a sword! Take 2! These 3 things are enough." So he brought a dagger, a fiddle, and a little wooden device that smooths wood so that it would be useful as a stool or something else. For not as the case may be, and may I leave 75 of my gifts if I not return. Don't leave him here with me, for I'd be forced to steal him and desert you. Have a little courage, Mr. Mackay. Then he heard a yell coming from the castle, and Fear Not went in, alone. Godspeed, Fear Not. Lovely. Ah, lovely. A little courage, Mr. Mackay. Then, as Fear Not made it to the main chamber of the castle, he heard a yell. He went to the chimney, and a man fell down. Well, at least half a man. He was cut in half from the torso.
Whoa.
He used his hands to
Cool.
walk and said, "Well, there's only half here. Where's the rest of me?" The rest of him fell down the chimney after him. Then he picks himself up and fixed him back where he was. That's more like it. Now, how about a game? Why not? I have all night. Yes, all night, yes. And then the spirit, picked up the bones and a skull and said, "Can you play Skittles?" "I'll try." "You'll try?" They better have. Now keep in mind, Skittles was the early version of bowling.
Guys.
Now.
Hi.
Oh, hello. I'm
Hey.
telling a
With us.
story if you want to listen.
Hey. Hold on.
And by the way, how do you like my pillow fort?